Let's actually start. So let's take a second to calibrate. Allow your feet to touch and then push your head top up to the highest position. Relax your shoulders. Let your tailbone sink with gravity. And then bring your hands together in the center. So from here, put your mind inside of your body and start from the top going downwards. So relax the skin on the top of your head. Relax your brow. Relax your vision. Relax your nose and your sinuses. Relax your jaw. Keep your tongue pressed to the roof of the mouth. Relax the front of your neck. Relax the back of your neck. Relax your shoulders, your back. We're literally moving our mind through the body from top to bottom to find places that have tension. Use your center to support. And then from here, the tailbone is relaxed. It's a small change. These are micro adjustments inside the body. Relax your knees. And then grip your feet, both sets of toes, all the way, and then completely let them relax. Take one long, last deep breath. And then we're going to start with some breathing. So inhale, and this is a stretch. So reach all the way up, and then exhaling, let everything relax. So you can see my hands. When you breathe, time the breathing with the movement. And the stretch is reaching all the way up, like it's a stretch in the morning. Usually in Tai Chi, we don't want the arms to go straight here, like you're reaching all the way up, and then let everything settle. Go at your own pace. So breathing all the way and exhaling. And on the exhales, we don't fully want to run out of air. So when you breathe, when you inhale, you can top it up entirely, fill entirely. But when you exhale, don't deflate entirely. Save a little bit of space. And so find the most natural breathing pattern for yourself. Everybody's breathing differently. There's people waiting. Let's do a few more for people that are joining. We'll give them some time. Again, as relaxed and long breathing as you can, make it a stretch. So all the way to the top. And then at the base, it's relaxed. Good morning for everybody joining us. Get your cameras set up, get your video set up. We're just breathing to start. And from here, let's do two more. So wherever you're at, do two more complete cycles. Reach all the way, stretching to the top and exhaling to the base. Last one, longest breath of the week so far, breathing deep. And then we're going to recalibrate. So bring your feet back together in the center. Bring your hands together in the center again. And then go through the body from the head top, pulling all the way up with the chin tucked. We can make ourselves, if you watch my camera, we can make ourselves push up this way, but we want to keep the chin tucked and the shoulders relaxed. This is a calibration. Tongue is connected to the roof of the mouth. We're using the center to support, so the tailbone is hiding. The ears should be lined up with the shoulders, feet gripping the ground. And then from here, open to the side, just relax. We're gonna do a little bit of stretching before we do some Tai Chi. So take your right hand, grab your left ear, reach out to the side. And when you do this, try to line up your thumb, this thumb, your elbow, this elbow, and your nose in one line. So this is this way. We don't want to have it curl in, and we don't want to have it pull too far back. But you want to pull as if this hand is reaching in this direction, and this elbow is going in that direction. Push up through the back of your neck. And then relax, change to the other side. This is also, by the way, with the same long breathing that we started with. So turn your head, push up through the back of your neck, reach out through your arm, and then relax when you come back to the center. We're going to turn some head circles. So keeping power to the head top. So like you're pushing up through your head the whole time. And we want to maintain the same long, relaxed breathing that we started with. Change directions if you haven't already. By the way, this is your stretch. So where it feels tight, take the time to stretch a little bit more. We use a circle so we can calibrate the whole thing. And then when you come back to the center, we're going to do some shoulder rolls. So see how large you can make the circle. If my shoulder is making a circle this way, see how large you can make that circle. And the movement is coming from the dantian. So imagine you're not just moving your shoulders, you're moving your rib cage, you're moving your collarbones, your shoulder blades. Change directions, do some going in the other direction. Remember to breathe. And then for the next one, we're going to turn a little bit around the waist. The important thing before we start is I want you to remember to fix the hips are facing forward, and also the jawline is facing forward this way. So when we turn, before you start, if you watch, the only thing that's turning is the waist, the soft tissue between the hips and the rib cage, and then also my upper back and lower neck, this section here. If you watch my face and my lower body, don't change. They're still turning. They're still facing forward. See if you can get your shoulder under your chin. And you can change, you can practice making just a little bit of power. It's completely relaxed. Or you can use as much power as you feel. So keep as if you're facing the camera the whole time. Don't turn to the side. And then when you come back to the center, relax. We're going to turn this way. Send your arms on vacation, and as if you're keeping your spine straight the whole time, relax your tailbone. The same long breathing that we started with. You should feel blood in your fingertips. You should feel power all the way to the fingertips through relaxation. And then come back to the center. We're going to do one more, which is turning over the side. So when you turn, reach over the back this way. And for the rear hand, for those of you studying the Bhagavad, this rear hand can turn as far as you allow it. So try to keep the spine straight, turning up over the side. Check to see that you have a very serious expression on your face. So each time, straighten the neck, pushing up at the top of each turn. The same thing, we're trying to keep the spine straight and facing forward. relax, come back to the center. We're going to turn some around the hips. So imagine you have a hula hoop and you want to hit all the points inside of the hoop. Breathing deep, change directions. I'm sorry, don't change directions. Try to hit all of those points on the circle. And again, it's your stretch. So if you feel an area where it's tight, take the time to stretch it out. Try to keep your upper body straight. And again, the long, relaxed breathing with which we started. When you come back to the center, bring your feet together. We're going to take our hands and rub them together until you feel that they're warm. And when you feel that they're warm, put them on your kneecaps and feel that you can transfer the heat from your hands to your kneecaps. Feel the tissue around your knees. There's tendons, muscles, fascia, skin. So pressing on the kneecaps, like you're pushing the kneecaps downwards. So try to relax the muscles, push on your kneecaps for a little bit. Take a deep breath when we stand up. We're going to do one more thing for the ankles. The rest of the body is locked, just turning around the toe. So breathe deep. This one is very relaxed. Same long breathing that we started with. Change directions if you haven't. Change sides. Grip the standing foot. Relax the other foot and leg. The whole leg is turning. Like your heel is drawing a circle that's on an angle. Change directions, go the other way. Feel the front of your shin should be relaxed. The back of your calf should be relaxed. If you haven't changed directions, change directions again. Before we start, anyone have questions, thoughts, comments, stuff that they're working on? If not, we're going to go into a little bit of X-stepping. There's some people that have seen this before in the past. We're going to use this as a warm-up, and then we're going to do the Tai Chi form. We're going to do all three sections. So to get into the mindset and into the structure. By the way, when we practice this exercise, let's do a little bit of balance first. So if your feet are parallel and you like to practice balance on one leg, the trick is not to try to balance, because if you try to balance, you have difficulty. But if you focus on your structure, then you can have some success in attaining balance. So what is the structure? When we're standing in Tai Chi Harmony, and we practice the head top and the brow and the vision and the nose and all of these alignment things, all of these alignments apply at every second. So when we stand, instead of trying to balance, focus on your structure. If the structure is off, we won't be able to balance. So in the X-stepping, we're going to practice this one leg standing posture. And we want to practice establishing the balance as quickly as possible and being able to transfer as quickly as well. So if we do X-stepping, we're going to start from the center. And we're going to start going back to the rear left. So when you step back, once your foot touches, grip the ground, sink your tailbone, and bring your other foot up. And then keep it there until you return back to the center. So grip the ground, and then bring your other foot back to the center. We're going to step forward to the right. So when you grip, and then return back to the center. So this is practicing balance. When you step forward, grip the ground, relax your tailbone, sink, push the head top up. Breathing, center. And now to the rear right. Grip the foot, relax the tailbone. Head top is up. Center. Let's talk about a few things for balance. I like to simplify balance, the balance structure in the body, as top, middle, and bottom. So in the bottom, if you grip your feet If your feet are geometrically aligned parallel this way at forward, 45 or 90, this balance becomes easier. But when it's offset by some random number because your feet naturally pronate this way, then you'll have more difficulty to balance. So line everything up, and then also activating the feet by gripping, we establish an energetic connection to the ground. The second one is the middle. A lot of times people balancing, they have their tailbone here. But if it's tucked under, that means that our center line is even more straight. So if you can use your center, right, flexing the muscles here gently, and then allowing the tailbone to sink when you balance, that's the middle. Use your Dantian for people studying external Dantian. Use this structure as an integrated piece to support everything. And then lastly is the top. If you have bad posture, then your balance will be bad. But if you make it straighter, what's easier to balance? Something that's straight or something that's crooked? So the same. If you make the structure very straight, it will be much easier to balance. So let's go again. Let's try the same X-stepping exercise. Start from the center and then line everything up. And when you feel that it's centered, step back, grip the ground, and practice balance, your structure. Where can you relax to make the structure more accurate? Grip. Step. When you move forward, grip the ground. Okay, so we started with two things. The first thing, we did some breathing. The warm-up, the calibration, doing all this kind of turning, that's just to get you into your body a little bit. I don't know how many people have regular yoga practice, regular stretching practice. But the second focus is balance. So we have breathing and we have balance. We started with a lot of Qigong. And then doing the X-stepping, we have balance. So when we go into the form, I want you to practice those two things. Even if you don't know the movements, you don't know where we're at in the form, you're not sure which direction it's going to turn next, those are okay. Those are all things that are acceptable. But if you have shallow breathing and you have the inability to balance, then that's a problem. The rest of it, not knowing the form, that's all new. We can learn all of that stuff. So let's actually start. I'm going to face the other direction. And for Carol and Devin, Mark, people that know the form, Charlotte, this is a modified first section. So we only have one brush knee and press, and then one bon lingouet. So the rest of the form will be pretty much the same. Let's start from Tai Chi Harmony. So bring the head top up, relax the tailbone, bring the hands together in the center. And the same calibration that we said before, if the brow is relaxed, vision is open, open your nostrils sideways to take in more air. Tongue is connected to the upper palate, chin is tucked. Also, a half smile is the minimum. So if you imagine the Mona Lisa or a statue of the Buddha, just the corners of the smile are activated. Chin is tucked, shoulders roll back and relaxed. The chest is hollow. We don't want to puff the chest out this way. We want it to be relaxed and straight. Using the center to support. Tailbone is hiding. Feet gripping the ground. This is commencement. We're going to open to the side. Let power go all the way to the fingertips. And then settling. Like you're setting a placement. Relax the tailbone, the hands rise to the top. Draw a circle. Grasp the sparrow's tail. Step forward. This is a ward off. Breathing deep, the same long breathing that we started with. Grasp the sparrow's tail. Step forward. ward off. Breathing deep. This is roll back. For those that know the form, turn your feet accurately. Press. Push. Look left. Glance right. Double press. Turn 90 degrees. This is split. Hook. Step forward. Down here. Turning 90. T salts on you. Splitting. Turn. We're going to turn 90 degrees again. This is crane, opening the wings. Soe, peepaw. Brush knee, press right to the center. From here, we'll repeat crane. Bai Ku, Liang Si, white crane, opening the wings, like playing a harp. Brush knee, press to the center. This is holding the moon in the chest. Stepping forward. Punch. Yo, Ban Lan Shui. This goes to the corner. Parry. Punch. Rufong. Si Bi. Press. Press. This is open to return tiger to mountain. And then from here, bring your right foot to the left foot. The left foot turns to a T, step to a square, and palm press directly to the center. Take a deep breath, roll back. Turn your feet accurately if you know how. If not, resume the same relaxed breathing that we started with. Press. Push. Look left. Glance right. Gather the power for double press. Horizontal. Split hands. Turning 90 degrees. This is Diao Shou's hook. Turn back to look at the moon. Take as many steps as you need to turn 180. The right hand covers, left hand is spear fist. Turn back to look at the moon. Repulse the monkey. Step back. Press to the center. Breathing deep. Hands and feet moving at the same time. Press to the center. Scoop. Stepping back. Press to the center. Opening to the side. This is Sherfei. Diagonal flying. High descent is needle at the bottom of the seat. Try to keep your back and your neck straight. You don't have to go super low. San Tong Bei. Block. Punch. Kick. Step square. Lan. Shui. Keep your head top up. Neck is straight. Looking forward. This is Di Bu Hua. Shen Bu Yi. Return to natural breathing, the way we started. Shuang Han, double press. Hung Li So, split. Hook. This is side whip. And this is cloud hands in the second section. Turn right, press right. Hips and feet facing forward. Turn left, press left. 2 of 2. Press right, step, and press left. Right, step, left. The owl shows hook. Corner whip turning 90 degrees. This is Gao Pan Ma at the high horse. So we're going to step back, cover. Reach forward, turn. Gao Tan Ma number 2. Right foot steps back, left hand reaches forward, turning. And then we're going to pivot. On the left side, scoop, brush, step, and press. On the left side is a brushing press. One hand is going down, the other hand is coming up. One hand turns, the other hand presses. And this last one changes. This is brushing, straight step, punch. We're going to turn 180, block, punch, kick, lan, shui. This is so hua. Kick, da, li is the big rollback. So stepping back, pulling down first, and then leading the arc all the way up to embrace a tiger. And da, li, the other direction. Lead the power down, it circles up to embrace a tiger. The left foot steps behind the right. This is scoop the moon from the ocean, kick, brush, air foam, 1 air, 2 wings in the ear. Good, stepping back, pull with the left side, kick with the left side, turning, 1, 2, 3. Don't worry, this is maybe the most complex part of the whole form. We're going to turn back to due west, block, punch, kick, lan, stepping, punch. This is the end of the second section. We're about halfway there. The third section is as long as the first and second combined. Take a deep breath. Embrace tiger, return to mountain. Bring the right foot to the left. The hands cover the top. Kou wu. Square step. Palm press directly to the center. Breathing deep. This is roll back. Join the palms. Press. Push. Look left. Glance right. Check to see if you've forgotten about the natural breathing. Return to childhood breathing. Hook. Facing due east, this is side whip, and this is Yama Fazang, wild horse, parting its mane, number 1. Number 2, long breathing, exhale for power. Number 3, inhale to gather the energy, exhale to send it out. And then return again to roll back. Try to line up your structure accurately. You should find it's easier to relax if you put a pleasant expression on your face. And if you can't manage that, that's okay. Half smile is the minimum. So breathing, we're going to turn 90 degrees back to the north. Hook, side whip, This is Yu Yan Chuan So. Jade lady working at the loom. Press. Looking first, right foot steps back, left hand circles, press to the second corner. Bring your left foot to the center, scooping underneath, step, turn the palms, press. Turning, step, press. This is a left grasp the sparrow's tail. Right press to the center, join the palms, step forward, press. Breathing deep, push, look left, glance right, double press, horizontal, split hands. Hook. This is a corner whip, so stepping diagonally. This is the first snake creeping down. And when we return, come back to the center. We're going to stand on the left foot, the right side going up. This is Jinji Li. And repeating, the right foot steps, the left side goes up. This is Jinji Li Repulse the monkey in the third section. Turn, press to the center. Breathing deep, scoop, step back, press to the center. Breathing, step back, press, diagonal flying, share fade. You can make it a shoulder bump if you like, opening. In the third section, needle at the bottom of the seat changes. It's the left hand and the right foot. Try to keep the spine and neck aligned, looking forward, head top up. San palm bay, fan through back, block, punch, kick. Grip your feet, lan, step square, shui. This is punch. This is Dibu block, changing. Head top is up. Change step, breathing deep to roll back. Look left. Glance right. Double press. Horizontal split hands. Hook. This is side whip. We're in cloud hands in the third section on the right side. Remember to breathe. As you feel warm, your body is making energy, it's making chi. It doesn't seem like we're doing very much, and we're not, which is why your body is capable to make a lot of energy in this process. To balance the heat, do the long breathing through the nose. Hook. Corner whip. This is called snake. Flashes its tongue. The right hand covers, left hand spear fist, step. Turn 180, pull right, kick right, cross kick, step, rush, punch the groin, half fold knees, change step, and return to deep breathing for roll back. Press. Make the movement reflect your diaphragm, the breathing. Should be long, relaxed. You don't have to worry about lining up breathing to movement. This is horizontal split hands. Almost there. Hook. This is corner whip. This is the second snake creeping down. And when we return, stepping up to 7 stars. Turning 90 degrees to the north, this is Swansen Bahu, ride a tiger. We're going to turn 180 for Bailien, and then Wonggong Surkus, open the bow to shoot a tiger, facing due west, block, punch, kick, lan, step square, shui, breathe deep, roof home, double tap, 1, 2, take a deep breath, opening to the north for return, tiger to mountain, block, punch right, punch left, bring the left side back to the right, returning to Tai Chi harmony. Okay, how's everybody doing? Questions, thoughts, comments? Okay, good. Before we continue, does anyone have thoughts? That's the form out of the way. There's a saying that's been reproduced a number of times over the years. It says, if you eat one live toad every morning, then nothing bad can happen to you for the rest of the day. So getting the form out of the way, getting the practice in. One of my favorite and best teachers also said this: Tai Chi and Chinese martial arts are an investment in yourself, and you only get out of it what you put into it. I know a lot of you have a serious practice, so yeah, continue to do that. Let's work on something from the second section. Does anyone have requests before we do? Because otherwise, I'm going to return to something I'd like to talk about, a little bit of self-defense. Tai Chi seems all very relaxed and calm and cool until we need to use it. And these movements become something different if we need to use them to defend ourselves against something or somebody. So if there's no requests, I'm going to continue. I think 2 weeks ago, we talked about Pat the High Horse. And I like to use this one because it's a good self-defense. And for people that like martial arts, boxing, we have this kind of power. So let's actually start facing. By the way, this form is highly geometric, and I use the directions north, south, east, and west. So I'm calling that direction north if you use my carpet as a sample, east, west, south. So we're going to start facing north, but we're going to turn to the west. So if we have hook, and then we turn 90 degrees this way. This is a sideway. So hook and whip is a separate movement. And we end up coming out of that movement to Pat the High Horse, Gal Panma. And the first movement is simply coordinating the left hand and the left foot. They're sweeping this way. So if something comes into your center, if there's something here and it enters your center, we're simply either making space for it or clearing out of its way, one or the other, either getting out of the way, left side. And then there's a change. The right hand and left foot go forward. So let's go back from hook and whip if we're here. The left side clears out, and now the right hand steps forward as this goes forward. Back from hook and whip. Half circle, and then 2 half circles this way. 1, 2. And so this step, we can use it in a kung fu, it's called dragon step, right? The feet are offset in this way. But we're going to try to keep everything, feet are square, half circle back with the foot. Now this foot also makes a half circle this way, and this arm turning this way. And then from here, it's this. So let's do the whole thing kind of slow, 3 times, and then we'll break down what it is. So the first one, the second step, and the third. So remember earlier we talked about balance. There's 3 sort of components for balance. The lower body, how your feet are connected to the ground. The middle body, how the torso sits on top of the legs. And the upper body, which is keeping the neck straight. And also where we focus the vision. Where you look is where you go. The same thing in Tai Chi, the same thing in real life. So if we can break down the balance into 3 structural parts, we can break down every posture into 3 temporal parts or components. So the first part is always avoid. So when we do Gao Tai Ma, we have an avoid. This first part moves our foot and brings our hand to the center, right? We're clearing, if I face the camera this way, 2 half circles. And this half circle, you can see it on a plane this way, but you can also see it this way, right? So you're clearing. As something comes in, we make room for it. The first name for that is avoid, right? When difficulty comes our way, if a problem is coming towards me like this, wants to hit me in the center, if I can avoid and it goes past me, I can return to Tai Chi Harmony, no problems, right? It's the simplest way to overcome your problems is simply to avoid the thing that would create the problem. But if it changes, if you go to avoid and then the trajectory changes to hit you, then you have to do something about it. You have to make contact. And so once we make contact, we find out how much speed, how much power, and it gives us some idea of how to deal with the problem. Lastly, after we make contact, the last step is to advance. I'm going to talk about these terms in the Mandarin because they're important. But the advance, a lot of times in the American culture, we think of as attack. In Mandarin, these 3 names are Hua, Na, and Da. It just so happens that they rhyme. So the first one, Hua, is avoid. As power is coming, we avoid to get out of its way. The next one is Na. And for those of you that are into Chinese martial arts, they have some movements called Qin Na, where you're locking the other person's joints. You twist them in an unnatural way to control the person, right? The name for that in Chinese is Qin Na. The second word, Na, is the same. It means to grasp. So we avoid, and then we grasp, find out what it is, to Na, to take a hold of. So, from Gao Tai Ma, Hua, Na is to catch. And the last one, Da. In Chinese, the word Da can be translated as attack, can be translated the same way that the Western culture would do it. But a lot of times, it simply means to move forward with power, right? We can think of it, another way to think of it instead of attack is advance. So, avoid, make contact, advance. Those are the 3. Every Tai Chi posture has it. Even what seems like a very simple one, we have hook. Where is the avoid, right? If you grip your feet, you can actually shift your body around quite a bit, right? If you see yourself on camera, it may look funny. But sometimes all we need to do is avoid here. If there's danger here, all I need to do is move out of the way a little bit. So we have an avoid, and then we have a make contact, and then we have a catch. So even simple posture contains all 3, Hua, Na, and Da. Sometimes we like to combine them. When we have grasp the sparrow's tail, we say Hua, Na, and then we can combine ward off into that posture. But secretly, grasp the sparrow's tail has an avoid, a make contact, and advance. Same thing with ward off. We can avoid, make contact, and then advance. Every posture has 3. They can combine them just like a musician or a poet. You can change the words any way that you like to, as long as you understand the structure it goes into. Let's continue with Gao Tai Ma. Before we do, thoughts, questions, comments, very clear. Okay. So we have hook, we have single whip, we're facing west. Avoid, make contact. And here you should feel that your body is sprung. It's turned. Your palm is reaching this way. So that when we reach the next step, everything unwinds the other way. It's almost like getting free power out of twisting and untwisting your body. So pat the high horse, reaching through the center and then turning. I'm going to actually demonstrate this one on my bag for a second because we don't have people here to do it. But we're going to imagine this is a person. And so imagine, pat the high horse. The names in the Tai Chi form that TC taught, very important. They give us some idea about what's happening. So imagine you have an opponent, which is like a horse that's very tall. And this is difficult to control the center line for something like this. So in this case, we're going to use this bag as a representation of the person. And I don't know if you can see it because it's kind of dark, but where it's connected here, we're going to use that section like the neck, right? So if I'm facing in this direction and power is coming towards me, the first part is, if this is attacking, right, there's this. I want to stay out of the way. So I avoid this way. And once I have my space, or I have the difficulty, whatever hands are coming towards me, covered, then I want to reach in to make contact. So this can actually reach pretty high. We can reach pretty high up this way. And the last one is to advance. So if you have a large structure, you can actually connect to it to kick this way, right? This is a real self-defense. When we talk about martial arts and self-defense, my teacher used to like to use Jin Ji Do Li, because this power, if you put your hands at about waist level while I'm talking, and just bring your knee up, try not to lower your hands, but see how hard you can hit your palm. This part of your leg has all of the power, right? For all of us, we all have, there's only one human body. So this part is where the power is. So when you have a situation that you need to get out of, it's something dangerous, this knee, whether you use Jin Ji Do Li or whether you use Gao Pan Ma, this knee power right here is where it's at, kicking. So if you have an opponent, here, this type of movement, this type of exercise. Before we continue, thoughts, questions, comments?
So Brian, in the form, you're bringing that hand that pulls the neck down around and under. That's really more a form issue, something that would be helpful in a practice.
The form, you can make the form look like if it's in like its application. So think of the opponent's center line like a post, right? If we have say there's a stick, this hand is reaching around and turning to pull this way. So if I have a stick, this is the other person's center line, right? If it's here, I want to stay out of the way, and then this one reaching across, it's a cross-body reach, and it's turning all the way. So we can exaggerate, we can make the motion more exaggerated. By the way, this is a stylistic thing with Tai Chi. Sometimes we may make the movement very simple, just looks like this. And other times we may make the movement look very large. This is a style choice. It's the name for that style change is called frame. So some people, when I'm practicing facing the other way, I make my frame very large so that you can see all the movements. But when I practice on my own, or if I like to practice for martial arts, I can make my frame very, very small so that it's compact. That's all okay. To go back to Charlotte, yes. Okay, so if we have the center there, our goal is to destroy our opponent's center line. So once I connect to the center, I actually want to pull it directly down and to the center between my center of gravity, between my legs. So if this post is here, let's see if we can do this. I'll lean it against my desk. And the opponent is pushing something in this direction. I want to avoid, and then I'm reaching to get around this way so I can pull it. That pull this way is the counterbalance to this knee. So you're getting cross-body power, pull with one side, push with the other, right? In the Tai Chi form, Because we're martial artists, right? We're not martial bean counters, right? We're martial artists. So we don't have to show the form every time. You can stylize the form to hide it, to make it more yoga, to practice your timing, to practice your breathing. So when I practice this form 2 different ways, I can make it soft and round and draw perfect Taiji symbols every time. Or we can make it very, very linear. 1, 2, 3. Very square, very angular, right? They're both correct as long as we have the correct things happening structurally. We have about 8 minutes left. Let's practice this just a few times. We're going to start slow, and then we'll speed up. And then another thing, I'd like to add the transition to the second Gaotian Ma, because it will help you see the first. So this time, I'm going to face north, turn west, and into the south. So if we have hook, and we have single whip, we have avoid, make contact, and then when we turn, kick. Now for the second one, stepping back, the left hand reaches out, transfer, and look, we end up the same, mirrored on the other side. So let's try that again. This is Gaotian Ma 1 to 2. So we have hook and whip. Avoid, make contact, advance, avoid, make contact, advance. Gaotian Ma 1 and 2. Let's repeat from hook and whip. Use your waist for power. So turn the center for power. Let's try this just turning in 4 directions. So we spend some time turning in all 4 directions. Before we continue, thoughts, questions, comments, everything's good. All right. So the same as what we just did a second ago, facing north, but now every time we finish, we're going to continue again. So from here, hook, step, avoid, make contact, advance, gao, pan, ma. And so from here, we have hook and whip, and we're going to turn again. We have avoid, make contact, advance, and then step back, gao, pan, ma. From here, hook, single whip, Gaotian Ma 1, avoid, make contact, advance, Gaotian Ma number 2, turning. And now, stepping, hook and whip, avoid, make contact, advance, Gaotian Ma number 2, hook, single whip, Gaotian Ma, reach, turn, step, reach, turn, hook and whip, avoid, make contact, advance, Gaotian Ma number 2, turning 90, hook and whip, avoid, make contact, turn, step back, reach, kick, hook, and whip. One more. So we're facing north, catch, turn the circle, stepping back. I'm lining my feet to the grid. Turn number 2, step square, bring your feet together, take a deep breath. Okay. Before we, we're going to close, in just a few minutes left. We're going to close the same way we started, doing a little bit of Qigong. These 1 hour classes, we may have to change it. By the way, for last week, sorry to miss, had some technical difficulties. I'm just finished shooting something yesterday, so I've been prepping for a fairly complex visual effects shoot. So last Friday night, I was exhausted, so much so that on Saturday, I ended up sleeping through my alarm. It was ringing for quite some time. So anyway, there's that. In the meantime, remember what I said, Tai Chi is like a self-investment, and you only get out of it what you put into it. So if you can practice 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes at night, 2 practices for 5 minutes is more valuable than 1 hour, one time. Because if you can get yourself into the correct alignment, then you can carry that with you the whole day. So stepping forward, grip the ground, relax your midsection, push up through the head top, center. Make your feet strong, grip the ground, relax your tailbone. Look at something stable. If you look at something moving, if you see me wobbling on my camera, even my movement on the camera, you have something in your house that's very stable. Look at that. The wall, the ground, the structure, forward, grip the ground. Grip the ground. Looking forward, step back to the center. Take a deep breath. How many feel better balanced after just one class, after just 1 hour of practicing? You feel some improvement. You should. So just take a nice, comfortable stance. We're going to sink the tailbone, so almost as if we're sitting just on the edge of a bench or just on the edge of the seat. And we're going to turn. So when we do this exercise, I want to turn completely to my side and then turning completely back to this side, so 180. So starting on one side or the other, it doesn't matter, breathing all the way up. The same thing, making a stretch, reaching all the way to the top, and exhaling, reaching all the way out to the sides, and not as much to the bottom. You're going to have to stretch to the base. So breathing up, reach out. Make the circle of your hands larger, the circle that your hands are drawing. Longest, most relaxed breathing that you can achieve. Go at your own pace. I picked kind of a medium to fast pace because time is limited, but you can go any way that you like. Inflate fully with air from the toes all the way to the head top. The stretch should feel like there's power going to the fingertips. You should feel power going to the head top, power going down to the toes, and power going down the back to the tailbone. Check to see that you have very serious expression. And if you do, then just change it to a small, slight half smile. So keep your hips locked in place and turn your waist at least 180 degrees. I'm not counting these, but on the other side, once you reach the other side, change directions. Now inhaling up the other side, reach the top, stretching, and exhaling down this side, breathing. Go at your own pace. Make sure your tongue is connected to the upper palate. Inflate your whole body with air. Keep working. While you're breathing, I'm going to say something from Chen Manqing. When we talk about push hands practice, Chen Manqing said, the hand is not a hand, the body is a hand. And a teacher that Aaron Scott and I studied with named Gene Walter, he said, your lungs are not your lungs. He says, your body is your lung. So the same idea as Chen Manqing for fighting, we can use for Qigong. Use your whole body to breathe. Your fingertips are actually pulling up on tendons that are connected to fascia, which is connected to your rib cage, which actually opens it, which allows your lungs to open a few millimeters more in 3 space. So use your whole body to open. I have not been counting as noted. So let's just do 2 more. Make it the longest, most relaxed breathing of the week. And on the last one, after you fully inhale, when you get to the center, allow your hands to float. Feel how lightweight you can make them. You can control how heavy or light your body feels, and the speed, the slowness, or fastness which it travels. Bring your feet back together in the center. Bring your hands together in the center. I'm not going to talk about it, but allow your body to calibrate internally, naturally on its own. And when you feel like you've made some micro adjustments, you can leave the eyes somewhere between open and closed and move where you think your mind is to the Dantian and feel your body line up naturally, automatically. When you put your mind in the center, the tailbone and the shoulders and the head top all shift to the correct place. And then take a second looking inwards towards yourself. You can actually roll your pupils and your iris as if you're looking down at your Dantian, at your navel. But you can also just turn your inward focus there. Take 1 deep breath to your center. And on the exhale, smile to yourself. Don't worry about any of the details. Bring your mind, your focus up into the center of your heart, the center of your thorax, in the middle of the rib cage where the organ, the heart is. And take a second breathing into your heart. It's working for us all week. We get so busy we don't have time to practice, but our heart doesn't take a break. Good, bad, or otherwise, it's working for you. So take a second to smile to your heart. And then one more time, move your mind, your consciousness, where you think it's at, up into the center of your brain. You can put your concentration on your third eye or somewhere in the center there. Take 1 deep breath. Imagine that you can relax and inflate your brain. If you know what your brain looks like, imagine that you can allow it to relax and expand. And then again, to become meta about things, your brain is also always working 24/7. Even if we didn't get a very good one, it's still doing its job. So take a second to breathe and smile to your brain. One long last deep breath. And that's it. Thank you. Sorry to miss last week. Hopefully that should be a rare occurrence. And in coming times, if I have a scheduled break, I will definitely update everyone. Before we go, questions, thoughts, comments? Cool. All right, everybody, remember to take some time every day to practice. Even 5 minutes is better than nothing. 2 5-minute sessions is better than an hour because you put yourself in the right alignment. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next time.
Great class, Brian.
Thanks.